Manalangin po tayo. Dakilang Panginoon Diyos, may-ari ng sanlibutan, pinupuri namin ang iyong pangalan. Kami nagpapasalamat sa panalangin at gabay na ibinigay mo sa amin. Salamat sa panibagong araw na ipinagkaloob mo. Salamat din sa pagkakataon na ibinigay mo upang kami ay muling magtipon para sa panibagong kaalaman. Kami po ay humihiling na nawa po ay gabayan mo po kami sa aming pag-aaral at bigyan mo po kami ng makalangit na kaalaman at lakas upang kami ay matuto. At nawa po ang lahat ng aming matutunan ay magamit namin sa pagtulong sa aming kapwa. Patawarin mo po kami sa aming mga kasalanan at nawa po ang lahat ng aming gagawin ay maging alinsunod sa iyong kautusan. Ang lahat ng ito ay aming sinasamo sa ngalan ng aming Panginoong Hesus. Amen. Magandang umaga po sa lahat ng mga criminology cadets, especially yung magtitake ng criminologist licensure examination. Finally po, this is the last episode po, last discussion natin sa subject na Criminal Law Book 1. Do not be surprised mga kadete na umabot tayo ng episode 4. Ang importante, na-discuss po natin lahat po ng topics na covered sa table of specification. Na-discuss din po natin yan comprehensively. Yun po ang pinaka-importante. Do not base your study, do not base your selection on the video discussion sa number of sa minimum minutes or yung lesser minutes. Kasi pag ang discussion dyan, lesser minutes po, ibig sabihin hindi yan comprehensive, hindi yan naka-cover sa lahat po ng topic. So ito umabot tayo ng episode 4. So this is the last. So welcome po sa mga instructors at professors sa last discussion po natin. Alright, without further ado, sa episode 3 po, we touched on the preliminary topics about penalty. Diba? Yung sa dulo po, we talked about some of the topics under penalty. So continuation po ito about penalty at the same time yung remaining topics na din sa Criminal Law Book 1. So without further ado mga kadete, to save time, may dalawa po tayong major classification of penalty. Una, yung penalty expressly imposed by the court in the judgment of conviction, ang tawag po dito principal penalty. For example, yung arresto minor, arresto mayor, yun, lahat yan, principal penalty yan. Ang accessory penalty naman is a penalty that go along with principal penalty. So, ito po ang penalty na sinali, ina-add po siya, it's an additional penalty, that is entwined with the principal penalties. Okay? So, para maintindihan, ito po ang mga penalties classified as accessory and principal. Okay? So, sa principal penalties, I hope na memorize na po yan mga kadete So, sa principal penalties, may po tayo, from the bottom, we have fine and bond to keep the peace. Okay? Ano bang ibig sabihin ng fine and bond to keep the peace? Ibig sabihin ng fine, yung civil liability, yung babayarin ng isang perpetrator found to be guilty of the accusation. Ano naman itong bond to keep the peace? Ang bond to keep the peace, binibigay yan pag yung buhay po ng tao has been threatened. Pag ang buhay ng tao po may threat po, so pwede po ang korte could order somebody to deposit an amount in the court as an assurance na hindi po i-risgo, hindi po pakialaman yung buhay ng isang tao. So pag may threat lang po, pag someone's life is in danger or has been threatened by somebody, pwede po yan, banned to keep the peace. So mag-deposit po ng amount sa korte to make sure na hindi niya gagalawin yung buhay ng isang tao. So fine and banned to keep the peace. Ito po ang tinatawag ng mga penalties common to the 3 preceding classes. Ano ba itong 3 preceding classes? Yung nasa taas mga kadete ha. Una, itong light penalties. Pangalawa, correctional. Pangatlo, afflictive. Sa lahat po na mag-detect ng board examination, dapat memorize nyo na po ito mga kadete ha. Pag deep nyo pa po na memorize ang arresto minor to reclusion perpetua, nako, huwag muna kayong mag-take ng board examination. Kasi sa board examination, hindi yan tsamba. Baka kumpiyansa tayo kasi ABCD lang. Nako, memorize nyo yan So sa light penalties, andyan yung dalawa. Una, itong public censure. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng public censure? It's a reprimand. That's another term for censure. Arresto minor, memorize na dapat yan 1 day to 30 days. Then, under correctional penalties, from arresto mayor, papuntang suspension, tsaka yung destierro. Ang destierro, this is known as a modern form of banishment. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng banishment? Yung pinalayas ka. Sa destierro, na-discuss po natin sa episode 1, destierro, minimum of 25 kilometer radius to 250 maximum. So pag destierro yung penalty, ibig sabihin, pag nasa Dumaguete City yung order ng korte, 25 kilometers at least, hindi ka pwede makalapit po. 25 kilometers or maximum 250, destierro po. Suspension. And then, under correctional penalties, also we have the prison correctional, which is 6 months and 1 day to 6 years. So, ibig sabihin dyan, from arresto mayor to prison correctional. Ano po yan? Correctional penalties rather. Yung sa afflictive penalties naman, magsimula po tayo sa prison mayor up to reclusion perpetua. So sa prison mayor, memorize na yan mga kadete, 6 years and 1 day to 12 years. Sunod, reclusion temporal, 12 years and 1 day to 20 years. And then reclusion perpetua, 20 years and 1 day to 40 years. Kasama din po sa afflictive penalties itong perpetual or temporary absolute disqualification or the perpetual or temporary special disqualification. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng perpetual? Perpetual, habang buhay ka. Meaning, until you are still living or while you are still living, it will apply. So, pag perpetual or perpetual absolute disqualification, ibig sabihin dyan, ma-apply lang po ito sa mga government employees. Hindi po kasali dito yung mga private institutions. So, for example, government employee ka, tapos yung penalty, because you have been found to commit grave misconduct in the exercise of your office. Okay, nagka-grave misconduct ka, tapos yung punishment is perpetual absolute disqualification. So, ibig sabihin dyan, you will not be allowed to hold government. Hindi ka pwede makapagtrabaho sa government kasi perpetual absolute disqualification yan. So, kasama yan perpetual or temporary, pwedeng temporary, tsaka yung perpetual or temporary special disqualification. Sa capital punishment po, wala na po tayong death penalty. Diba? Yung Republic Act 7659 or the so-called death penalty law, na-abolish na po yan. Pero ang death is known as capital punishment. So, lahat po, in-arrange ko na yan ban to keep the peace, fine. Public censure, arresto minor, papuntang death. Na-arrange ko na yan, classified na into categories. Light, correctional, afflictive, capital, and then those penalties common to the preceding classes. Ang tawag po dyan, principal penalties. So pag magtanong sa board examination, reclusion perpetua, is it accessory or principal penalty? So ang sagot dyan is basically principal penalty. Ang destierro, ano ba yan? Principal or accessory? So nakalagay dito, principal. So dapat principal yung sagot nyo po. So sa accessory penalties, ito. From the bottom po tayo payment of cost, yung babayarin mo. Forfeiture or confiscation of instruments and proceeds of the offense. Indemnification, bayad din po yan. Civil interdiction, bayad din po. Suspension from public office, the right to vote and be voted for, the profession or calling. It's also an accessory penalty. Perpetual or temporary special disqualification, accessory penalty din po yan pag yung perpetual or temporary special disqualification go along with the principal penalty. Pero there are some cases po na pag administrative case yung hinaharap ng isang tao, pwede po ang principal penalty is perpetual or temporary disqualification lang. Or perpetual or temporary special disqualification. Pero, pag may penalty po na principal, for example, yung tao has been found to be guilty of a certain case. Tapos, binigyan siya ng penalty ngayon ng reclusion correctional, for example. And along with the prison correctional, sinabi ng korte, perpetual or temporary special disqualification ka. So, sa situation, yung perpetual or temporary disqualification becomes an accessory. Huwag po tayong ma-confuse ha. Pero in some other cases, yung perpetual or temporary, pati na yung perpetual or temporary special disqualification, pwede din po yung stand-alone na punishment. That is why it is considered as principal. Pero pag ang dalawang ito is accompanied by a principal penalty, so basically, these two becomes accessory, accessory penalty. So wag lang po natin, di po na tayo malilito mga kadete. Pag accessory penalty, yun po, sinasama yan along with the principal penalty. Pero pag isa lang yung penalty, ang tawag dyan is principal penalty lang. So yung sumama na penalty is the accessory. Okay? Other classification of penalties. According to divisibility. Marami po tayong categories. Unahin po natin according to divisibility. Ang penalty po, pwede siyang makonsider into divisible and indivisible. Pag divisible yan, ibig sabihin may fixed duration. Fixed duration. And are divisible into 3 periods. Ano ba ang 3 periods na pinagsasabi dito? Ano bang ibig sabihin ng 3 periods? Ang 3 periods dito is referred to minimum period, medium period, tsaka yung sa maximum period. So, 3 periods po. Sa indivisible, on the other hand, opposite po siya kasi wala itong fixed duration. So, sa indivisible, huwag kalimutan mga kadete, ito lang po mga indivisible penalty. Una, death. Pangalawa, reclusion perpetua. Pangatlo, perpetual absolute or special disqualification, tsaka yung public censure. So, para mas maintindihan, ito nilagay ko na po, tingnan nyo po ang slide. Listen up. By the way, mga kadete, pag wala po kayong copy pag hindi po comprehensive yung yung mga review materials nyo dyan, you can grab a copy. Pwede po PDF. Sa mga instructors naman, pwede po, you can grab a copy, PowerPoint presentation, or yung PDF. Just give me a chat personally po. Andyan po yung name ko sa description. So ito po para mas maintindihan. Ito ang table na nagpapakita sa divisible penalties along with their duration broken into 3 periods. Ano ba ang periods na sinasabi ko kanina? Minimum, medium, at saka yung maximum period. Sige, para mas maintindihan, tingnan natin at the bottom po tayo. Start tayo sa baba. Arresto minor. Ano ba ang duration ng arresto minor? E di, 1 day to 30 days. Ano yung minimum period ng arresto minor? 1 to 10 days. Yung medium naman is 11 to 20, tsaka yung maximum niya is 21 to 30 days. Arresto mayor from 1 month and 1 day to from 1 month and 1 day to 6 months. Okay? From 1 month and 1 day to 6 months. Aresto mayor po yan. So, ano po ba ang minimum period dito? Ang minimum period po dito sa aresto mayor is from 1 to 2 months. 1 to 2 months po, yung medium niya is from 2 months and 1 day to 4 months, tsaka yung maximum niya is from 4 months and 1 day to 6 months. The rest goes along. Di ko na lang po babasahin. Screenshot nyo na lang yan. Tapos, memorize nyo po yan, i-memorize nyo. So, again, yung reclusion perpetua po, hindi po yan kasali sa divisible. Ang reclusion perpetua is considered as indivisible along with death, public censure, and perpetual, absolute, or special disqualification. Now, according to subject matter, ito naman ang mga penalties. Una, corporal, ibig sabihin, death penalty po. Deprivation of freedom, reclusion, prison, tsaka yung aresto. Ano ba yung aresto? Aresto minor, aresto mayor. Prison, prison mayor, prison correctional. Reclusion, reclusion temporal, reclusion perpetua. Okay? Restriction of freedom, distierro. Bakit restriction ang tawag dyan? Kasi nga, hindi ka makapasok. Sabi ko kanina, ang order dyan is minimum of 25 kilometers, maximum of 250. So at the center, pag Dumaguete City yan, you're not allowed to enter. 25 kilometers from Dumaguete, north, east, west, south po, in all 4 directions. Sunod, deprivation of rights. Ito yung disqualification and suspension. Tsaka yung pecuniary, yung babayarin po, yung tinatawag nating fine. Okay? According to their gravity, yung penalty po, light. Ano ba yung light? Again, light penalties would refer to aresto minor. Correctional penalties would refer to aresto mayor, to prison correctional. And then the rest is considered as afflictive penalties. Yung nasa reclusion temporal tsaka yung reclusion perpetua. On the other hand, yung death penalty, which is considered as obsolete, is basically part of what we call as capital punishment. That's according to gravity. The last one is when afflictive, correctional, or light penalties. As to the fines, so basically these are the amounts. Ito po ang mga amounts na makonsider po natin na light po siya, correctional ba, or afflictive ba. Pag ang babayarin po is 200 and less. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng less? So 200 pesos up to 0 or 0 to 200. Tinatawag po siyang light. On the other hand, pag correctional yan, 201 pesos up to 6,000. Pag 6,001, okay? To be exact 6,001, part po yan ng afflictive. So memorize nyo po 200 pesos and below. Light, 201 to 6,000. Correctional, 6,001 and above is considered to be afflictive. Okay? So yun po. Again, I'd like to implore to everybody, please, memorize po natin at the same time, intindihin po natin. Baka nag-memorize tayo pero hindi natin naintindihan yung minimorize natin. Dapat dalawa yan, na-memorize natin. Wag yung familiarization. Kasi sa familiarization, pagdating sa board examination, pag nakalimutan mo yan, kasi familiarization lang yung yung goal mo, ibang mga review lecturers magsasabi, familiarize nyo. No, wag nyo i-familiarize as much as possible, memorize nyo. Kasi pag familiar lang yan, kunwari, yung isang tao, familiar sa'yo, pero hindi mo alam yung pangalan, useless. So, magtanong ka uli. So, ang importante na memorize mo. Nilagay mo sa kukote mo. At the same time, you understand the terms that you memorize. Okay? Now, to proceed, sa pagpapatuloy po, ito po ang computation of penalties. Okay? When the offender is in prison, the duration of the temporary penalties such as permanent absolute disqualification, temporary absolute disqualification, detention, and suspension is from the day on which the judgment of conviction becomes final. Kailan po? Kailan po mag-start? Ang computation ng penalty pag ang offender nasa prisuhan po? So again, ang sabi dito, the duration of the temporary penalties. Ano ba yung mga temporary penalties? Yung mga permanent absolute disqualification, temporary absolute disqualification, detention, and suspension. So basically, pag ganito po, ang computation niya is from the day on which the judgment of conviction becomes final. On the other hand po, pag ang offender is not in prison, ang duration of penalty of deprivation of liberty is from the day that the offender is placed at the disposal of judicial authorities for the enforcement of penalty. So ano ba ang ibig sabihin dito? Ibig sabihin dyan, simple lang po, pag ang isang tao, perpetrator, akusado, accused of a certain crime, found to be guilty beyond reasonable doubt, tapos ang sabi ng judge, yung punishment niya is prison correctional. So, kailan po ba mag-start yung day 1 ng prison correctional? So, mag-start po yan the moment he is disposed, yung panahon po that the court ordered him to be in prison or to be in jail. Okay? So, pag ano po, for example, December 1, binigyan ng hatol yung tao, and December 1, the court ordered for the person to be confined inside the jail. So, yung December 1 is the first day. Yun po ang start ng counting. Okay? Pag wala po siya sa prisuhan nung una. Pero pag nasa prison yung una nating computation when the offender is in prison, the duration of the temporary penalties, such as what I have mentioned, will start from the day on which the judgment of conviction becomes naging final na. Okay? Number 3, the duration of the other penalties, the duration is from the day on which the offender commences to serve his sentence. So, pareha lang po yan. So, pag nag-serve na po siya ng sentence, that's the start of the computation. Okay? So, probably you might ask, how about preventive imprisonment? Okay? Ano bang ibig sabihin ng preventive imprisonment? Ibig sabihin dyan, di ba, non-institutional correction. Pati I think this topic is also discussed under institutional correction also. Pag preventive imprisonment, ibig sabihin, you have been confined, inilagay ka sa kulungan. Bakit po ba? Ano po ba ang rason why you have been confined inside the jail? Because you will undergo investigation. Or pangalawa, you are waiting for trial. Or probably number 3, you are waiting for final judgment. Nangyayari po ito pag una, bailable yung krimen mo pero wala kang pampiyansa. Pangalawa, hindi bailable yung krimen na nakomit mo. Okay lang pag nasa number 1 kasi pag bailable yung krimen mo tapos wala kang pera, pwede pong you can probably look for a way para po makapaglikom ng pera, di ba? Para makalabas ka temporarily. Pero sa number 2, pag non-bailable, preventive imprisonment ang kalalabasan po. So you have to be put inside the jail. So yan po, preventive imprisonment. So ano ba ang mangyayari sa number of years or number of months served under preventive imprisonment tapos you have found guilty? For example, di ba sa Pilipinas mga kadete, yung sistema po natin I'm sorry, I'm not trying to malign our court pillar. Pero ang totoo po kasi, ang reality on the ground, pag may krimen po, nag-file ng kaso, sometimes yung kaso po natin will take for a lifetime. Di ba? Bihira lang po yung mga kaso na aabot ng 1 taon or tatlong taon. There are a lot of cases na aabot po yan na sometimes 7, 6, it takes a lot of time. So let us say for example, lagay na lang natin 5 taon. Non-bailable yung offense, tapos si Juan de la Cruz inilagay sa jail. Kasi non-bailable. Tapos, on the 6th year, nangyayari, si Juan de la Cruz was found guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Tapos, ang punishment niya is 10 years. Imagine ha, unang factor dyan, nakapag-serve na for 5 years. Tapos ang conviction niya is 10 years yung punishment. So ano ba ang resulta? So ilan ba or magkano ba ang i-serve ni Juan de la Cruz? So basically, generally po dapat 5 taon lang kasi deduction 'yan eh. Nakapag-serve ka na under preventive imprisonment. So ganito po, offenders who have undergone preventive imprisonment shall be credited in the service of the sentence. So, ibig sabihin, pag 5 taon ka under preventive imprisonment, 10 taon yung conviction mo, so, magsiserve ka na ngayon ng yung natitirang 5 years. Kasi po, naka-serve ka na ng 5 years under preventive imprisonment. I hope naintindihan ha. Pero, again, may mga exceptions po tayo. Okay? Unang exception, pag recidivist ka. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng recidivist? Ito po ang mga tao na unang requirement, found to be convicted of a crime. Convicted ha. Tapos yung krimen na yan, pangalawa, yung krimen na yan is of the same title of the revised penal code. For example, convicted ka sa murder. After serving murder, lumabas ka ngayon sa bilangguan. Paglabas mo, kasi mainit yung ulo mo, nag-commit ka na naman ng, lagay natin, rape, okay, or parricide, or physical injury. These are crimes which are of the same title with murder. So pag nag-commit ka, sa pangalawang pagkakataon, recidivist ka. Kahit nakulong ka under preventive imprisonment, yung na-serve mo po will not be credited kasi you are a recidivist. So kahit yung 10 taon sa conviction mo, nakapag-serve ka na ng 5 years under preventive imprisonment, the 5 years will not be credited. Ibig sabihin, mag-start ka ngayon ng first day from the conviction up to makakuha ka ng 10 years. Kasi yung 5 years mo will not be credited. Kasi po, recidivist ka. Okay? Or have been convicted previously twice or more times of any crime. Okay? Convicted previously twice or more times of any crime. Ibig sabihin, third time mo na yan. Okay? When upon being summoned for the execution of their sentence, they have failed to surrender voluntarily. Isa din po yung ground para hindi makredit yung number of years mo sa preventive imprisonment. If the detention prisoner does not agree to abide by the same disciplinary rules imposed upon convicted prisoners, he shall do so in writing with the assistance of a counsel and shall be credited in the service of his sentence with 4/5 of the time during which he has undergone preventive imprisonment. So dito po doon kasi po sa prison, sa jail, may ano po yan, may rules and regulations na dapat i-follow. Okay? If you are a detainee, tapos you do not want to abide, di mo gustong mag-abide sa mga rules and regulations inside the jail institution, pwede ka ngayon magsulat with the assistance of your counsel, pero yung number of years na nasi-serve mo under preventive imprisonment, nako, 4 lang po, 4 of 5, 4/5 lang po ang i-credit dyan. Okay. Kumpara po sa taong nag-abide sa rules and regulation, nag-abide po sa rules and regulation, 5 years yung ano niya, for example, 5 years yung preventive imprisonment na na-serve niya, automatic yung lahat ng 5 years will be credited. Pero kahit 5 years ka, pero you did not abide sa mga rules and regulations sa prison, pwede po, 4/5 lang po ang makredit. 4 lang po na taon ang i-credit instead of 5. Okay? So ito ang sabi ko kanina mga kadete Instances when accused undergoes preventive imprisonment, kailan po? O non-bailable, Or number 2, bailable but can't furnish bail. So, ibig sabihin, non-bailable, di ka pwede makapagpiyansa. Okay? Pangalawa, may piyansa nga, pwede ka makapagpiyansa pero wala kang pera. Kasi pera dyan eh. Pera ang requirement dyan. So, if you do not have money, di ka ngayon makalabas. Notes, the full time of 4/5 of the time during which the offenders have undergone preventive suspension shall be deducted from the penalty imposed. Full time, if the detention prisoner agrees voluntarily in writing. Ito po ang sabi ko kanina. Then 4/5 again, pag ang detention prisoner does not agree to abide the rules or the disciplinary rules inside the prison. However, in the case of youthful offender who has been proceeded against the Child and Youth Welfare Code, ano ba ang Child and Youth Welfare Code? PD 603 or Presidential Decree 603, he shall be credited in the service of his sentence with the full time of his actual detention, regardless if he agreed to abide by the same disciplinary rules of the institution or not. Klarong-klaro po yan ha. Pag bata po, ang definition natin ng bata or child, 17 years old and below. And ang sinasabi ko, and. Ibig sabihin, 17, 16, 15, pababa. So, kahit hindi yan mag-abide sa rules and regulation during detention or sa disciplinary rules, nako, full-time pa din po ang credited dyan, ang pag-credit. So, kung kailan or magkano yung na-serve niya, automatic credit niya. Kasi po, PD 603. Okay? Yun po ha, dapat nating tandaan ha, mga kadete ha. Next, for public office, profession, or calling. Ito po ang effect of perpetual and temporary special disqualification. Sa lahat po ng mga tao holding public office, profession, or even profession or calling. So, una, deprivation of the office, employment, profession, or calling affected. So, for example, criminologist ka, di ba? May Republic Act 1131 tayo. Di ba? May may implementing rules and regulation. Pwede po. If you have been found to be convicted of a crime against moral turpitude, ground yan. Para mawala yung lisensya mo. On the other hand, pag nasa gobyerno ka or government employee ka, tapos may grave misconduct ka or nag-commit ka ng administrative case in nature, tapos you have been found guilty, so ano ang epekto ng perpetual and temporary special disqualification? So you have to be removed from your office. Next, disqualification or holding similar office or employment during the period of disqualification. Di pwede. For the exercise of the right of suffrage, ano ba ang right of suffrage? This means the right to vote, deprivation of the right to vote or to be elected in an office. Di pwede. Okay? Cannot hold any public office during the period of disqualification. Okay? So, hindi ka ngayon makapag-run, hindi ka pwede ngayon makapag-vote. Okay? Next, band to keep the peace. Balikan po natin ang band to keep the peace, which I mentioned a while ago. Now, ang duty po ng isang tao being sentenced to give band to keep the peace, ang duty niya po is to present to sufficient sureties who shall undertake that such person, ang mga sureties po, ito po yung mga tao, dalawang tao po, na makapag-assure to undertake that such person will not commit the offense sought to be prevented, and that in case such offense be committed, they will pay the amount determined by the court in the judgment, or otherwise to deposit such amount in the office of the clerk of the court to guarantee said undertaking. The court shall determine according to its discretion the period of duration of the band. So depende po kung kailan po or ano po ang duration to keep the to have the band effective. So again, ang band to keep the peace, yung namimiligro yung buhay ng isang tao because he was been threatened. Tapos sabi ng tao being sentenced, Your Honor, di ako papatay. I will not commit revenge or vengeance. Kasi common yan eh. Common. Vengeance is very common. So yung taong nasintensyahan, responsibilidad niya ngayon, kukuha siya ng dalawang shortest. Dalawang tao. dalawang tao to go to the court and will tell the court that, Your Honor, we are pretty sure, we will promise you na itong tao na ito will not commit this kind of crime against this person. Okay? Yun po, bond to keep the peace. So, para ma-sure, mag-deposit ka ngayon ng pera. Or, bigay mo yung pera niyan after final judgment or during final judgment. Should the person sentenced fail to give the bond as required, he shall be detained for a period which shall in no case exceed 6 months, as he shall have been prosecuted for a grave or less grave felony and shall not exceed 30 days it for a light penalty. Okay? Sunod. 2 ways of giving the bond. Una po, yung pag-present ng sureties who shall undertake that the offender will not commit the offense sought to be prevented, and that in case such offense be committed, they will pay the amount in the court. Or pangalawa, the offender must deposit such amount with the clerk of court to guarantee said undertaking. Okay? The offender may be detained if he cannot give the bond. Again, ito po ang sabi ko kanina for a period not exceeding 6 months if na-prosecute siya sa grave or less grave felony. Again, ano ba itong less grave? Ang less grave is from arresto mayor papuntang prison correctional. Ang less grave, tinatawag din po yung correctional penalties. Ang grave naman, ito po yung sa prison mayor papuntang reclusion perpetua. For a period not to exceed 30 days if for a light felony. So, pag prosecuted lang siya ng light felony, pwede lang, 30 days lang. Bond to keep the peace is different from bail bond, which is posted for the provisional release of a person arrested for accused of a crime. Bond to keep the peace or for good behavior is imposed as a penalty in threats. Okay? Ito po ang sabi ko kanina So, ang bond to keep the peace, pag may namimili grupo, kasi yung buhay ng tao has been threatened by somebody. Okay? So, yan po. Yung bail is basically for temporary freedom. Alright? So, klaro po ba mga kadete I hope klaro-klaro po yung pag-discuss ko po. Alright, let's go. Subsidiary penalty. Okay? Let's go now to subsidiary penalty. Now, if the convict has no property with which to meet the fine mentioned in paragraph 3 of the next preceding article, he shall be subject to subsidiary penalty. Okay? Magkano ba yung rate ngayon? 8 pesos for 1 day 8 pesos lang for 1 day, subject to the following rules. If the principal penalty imposed be prison correctional or arresto and fine, he shall remain under confinement until his fine referred to in preceding paragraph is satisfied. So, ibig sabihin, pag let's say, pag 80 yung utang mo, 80 yung fine mo, divided by 8, 10. So, 10 araw ka po, 10 araw ka na ilalagay sa under confinement. But his subsidiary imprisonment shall not exceed 1/3 of the term of the sentence, and in no case shall it continue for more than 1 year. Okay? So again, ang maximum po natin 1 year. And no fraction or part of a day shall be counted against the prisoner. Ano ibig sabihin nito? No fraction or part of the day shall be counted against the prisoner. Ibig sabihin, pag half day is considered as 1 day. Okay? Pag afternoon lang, considered as 1 day na yan. When the principal penalty imposed be only a fine, the subsidiary imprisonment shall not exceed 6 months if the culprit shall have been prosecuted for a grave or less grave. It shall not exceed again 15 days for light felony. That's very understandable po. Now, on the other hand, ito ang additional. When the principal imposed is higher than prison correctional, there shall be no subsidiary imprisonment that shall be imposed upon the culprit. Ang sabi dito, pag ang principal po imposed is higher than prison correctional. Okay? So, ano ba itong principal? Yung principal, sabi ko na, principal penalty tsaka yung accessory penalty Huwag kalimutan nyo. If the principal penalty imposed is not to be executed by confinement, in a penal institution, but such penalty is of fixed duration, the convict, during the period of time established in the preceding rules, shall continue to suffer the same deprivation as those of which the principal penalty consists. So ano ba ang mga principal penalty na hindi ka kailangang ma-confine? Okay? Di ba kanina we talk about absolute perpetual disqualification? Or probably, yung other principal penalties like public censure. So, let us say for example lang po ito temporary disqualification ka ngayon for 6 months. So, yung fine mo, lagay natin 80 pesos pero wala kang pabay. Example lang po So, 80 divided by 8, basically 10. So, after serving 6 months, you add 10 days. Okay, para kuha yung subsidiary. Next, the subsidiary personal liability which the convict may have suffered by reason of his insolvency shall not relieve him from the fine in case his financial circumstances should improve. Ibig sabihin, 'di ba? Pag may fine ka, babayarin. Pag wala kang pera, ni lote wala ka bahay wala ka, talagang wala po. So, ibig sabihin dyan na kalimutan na lang. Pag naka-recover ka ngayon, tapos darating ang panahon na yung swerte is papabor sa'yo. Pag napabor na po sa'yo yung swerte, pag may pera ka na, bayad ka. Okay? Next, confiscation and forfeiture of the proceeds or instruments of the crime. Every penalty imposed carries with the forfeiture of the proceeds of the crime and instruments or tools in the commission of the crime. So lahat po ng ginamit mo for example, yung ninakaw mo na pera, i-confiscate po yan. The proceeds and instruments, tools of the crime are confiscated in favor of the government. The property of third person not liable for the offense is not subject to confiscation and forfeiture. Ibig sabihin, yung gamit ng iba, hindi kasali sa investigation, hindi kasali sa complaint, wag mo po. Not liable for the offense, It should not be subject for confiscation. Pag ang nag-commit si Juan, tapos yung property is owned by Maria, wag mo i-confiscate kay Maria yan Property na subject of lawful commerce, whether it belongs to the accused or third person, shall be destroyed. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng property not subject of lawful commerce? Ano ba itong komersyo? Lawful commerce, commerce that is considered as illegal. For short, ito po ang mga negosyo, business, considered to be legal. Ang shabu, pagtitinda ng shabu, legal ba yan? Lawful commerce ba yan? Di ba hindi? Pag nagbibenta ka ngayon ng pirated CD, is it considered as lawful? Hindi. Pag nagbibenta ka ngayon ng muffler na modified, tapos it is not in accordance with 4136, legal ba yan? Hindi. So ano ang gagawin? I-confiscate in favor of the government. Ano ang gagawin ng government? I-destroy niya. Okay? Next. Note that there cannot be confiscation or forfeiture unless there's a criminal case filed. That's very, of course, that's for common sense, it's necessary. Tried and accused is convicted. Third person must be indicted to effect confiscation of his property. Ibig sabihin, dapat na akusaran po yan. There must be conviction by final judgment. However, even if the accused is acquitted on reasonable doubt, but the instruments or proceeds are contraband, the judgment of acquittal shall order the forfeiture for appropriate disposition. I'd like to emphasize on this one. A lot of cases na yung kaso po is dismissed or yung accused has been acquitted from the crime. Now, pag ang isang instrumento o ang proceeds from the crime is considered to be a contraband, ito po yung mga illegal na mga instrumento or illegal na mga materyales. Automatic po, kahit may acquittal, kahit may dismissal, dapat po i-dispose po ang ang material na yan. For example, pag shabu, for example, 1 ton of shabu from China, nakuha ni Coco Crunch, Mr. Coco Crunch. So ano ang gagawin ngayon? Isauli yung isang tunnel ng shabu ni Coco Crunch kasi acquitted siya. Diba? Common sense would suggest na dapat hindi isauli yan. Dapat it has to be destroyed kasi kontrabando. Pero pag hindi naman yan kontrabando, for example, digital camera, wag mong sabihin yung digital camera is a contraband, isauli mo. Okay? Sauli mo. Alright, next. Penalty to be imposed upon the principal when the crime committed is different from that intended. O ito. This is highly technical po mga kadete. Ano ba ang impose ng penalty sa principal? Pag yung krimen na nakomit is iba po sa intensyon na krimen na dapat niyang gagawin. For example, para mas maintindihan yung caption, ang gusto mo is just to punch Mr. Coco Crunch. I-punch mo to teach him a lesson. But when you punch him in the face, what happened was, yung tao na binugbog mo, supposedly to teach him a lesson only, namatay. Ang intention mo is just to teach him a lesson. But the crime that happened was, namatay yung tao. So, naging homicide. Okay? Diba? Naglaro kayo ng basketball. Tapos you have been accidentally hit. Diba? May mga, especially mga criminology. Diba? Mahilig tayo sa basketball. There are times na mainit yung ulo, accidentally hit by the elbow, kahit aksidente yan, uminit yung ulo kasi pugi Parang Cardo Dalisay, nagpupugihan. So, sinuntok. Ang intention is just to inflict pain. Pero, ang resulta iba. So, ito these provisions will apply. Una, penalty for the felony committed is higher than the penalty for the offense which the accused intended to commit. Ano ang ma-impose? The lower penalty shall be imposed in its maximum period. Okay? Again, yung penalty for the felony committed is higher. Mas taas po yung penalty niya na nakomit than the penalty for the offense which the accused intended to commit. Ang mangyayari po, ang lower penalty shall be imposed in its maximum period. Lower penalty sinuntok. Pag suntok niya, the purpose is just to inflict a lesson or to inflict pain, to teach him a lesson, pero namatay. So, yung homicide, for example, yung lower penalty shall be imposed in its maximum period. Okay? Next, penalty for the felony committed be lower than the penalty for the offense which the accused intended to commit. Ang gagawin po, yung lower penalty shall be imposed in its maximum period. Okay? Pareho lang po So, pag ang penalty for the felony committed is mas mababa siya. Mas mababa siya compared to the penalty for the offense which the accused intended to commit. So, lower penalty shall be imposed. Ang gusto niya patayin, pero hindi namatay yung tao kasi he wanted to kill him by means of punching. Pag-punch siya, just he punched the person, but the punching was being halted when the police officer arrives. So instead of his intention is to kill him by means of punching, pero dumating yung police, so nakapag-punch lang siya ng isang beses. Of course, the person will not die. Pag especially pag yung kamao mo is parang kamao lang ni yung mga maliliit na tao, yung habit, di ba? So hindi yan. So pag ang penalty for the felony committed is lower than the penalty for the offense which the accused intended to commit, ang lower penalty shall be imposed in its maximum period. Next, act committed also constitutes an attempt or frustration of another crime, and the law prescribes a higher penalty for either of the latter. The penalty for the attempted or frustrated crime shall be imposed in its maximum period. Okay? If you can still remember po mga kadete, when you were still in first year under Intro to Crim, kung naalala nyo po, one of the lessons is about complex crime and simple crime. Okay? May mga categories po kasi tayo ng mga crimes according to different categories. And one of the category there is about complex tsaka yung simple crime. Ang complex crime, isa po itong act that constitute different offenses. Isang act that constitute different offenses. Tapos, even if the single act produces two or more offenses, isa lang po ang information, isa lang po ang kaso na dapat i-file. Ang tawag po dyan, complex crime. Okay? On the other hand, pag simple crime naman, ibig sabihin, ito po yung mga krimen considered to be a single act which constitute only one offense. Okay? In comparison, opposite po kasi yan. Yung simple crime, one act, one offense. Murder, yan. It's simple crime. Pero pag pag dalawa, isang act, tapos dalawa yung resulta na krimen, ang tawag po dyan is complex crime. Pero kahit dalawa yung offenses na na-create in one single act, isa lang dapat po ang kaso na i-file. Okay? Ang tawag po dyan, complex crime. Now, dalawa po ang kinds of complex crime. Una, compound. Pangalawa, complex crime proper. Isa-isahin po natin to ha. Ang compound crime, ibig sabihin, isang act constitute two or more grave or less grave felonies. Ito po ang requirements. Una, that only one single act is performed. Pangalawa, that the single act produces, it could be two or more grave felonies, one or more grave and one or more less grave felonies, or two or more less grave felonies. So, ibig sabihin, isang act, resulta niya, maraming offense. Okay? It could be less grave or grave felonies. For example, tinapon mo yung bomba, yung bomba, okay? Tinapon mo. Tapos it causes one single act ha. It causes number 1, death on other persons. Number 2, it causes serious physical or slight physical injury. Isa lang po yung act na ini-execute mo, but it constitute different offenses. On the other hand, let us say, for example, you shoot somebody by means of a firearm. That somebody, let us say you fired 5 times. That somebody died. Okay? Murder, di ba? Pero, in the act of firing, may mga tao po that was affected, that was also hit by the strayed bullets. And this person suffered injuries also. So, yung mga injuries is another form of an offense. Ang tawag po dito, compound crime. Okay? On the other hand, complex crime proper naman, when an offense is necessary means for committing another. Okay? Ano ba ang ibig sabihin dito? Isang offense na kailangang ma-execute kasi ang pag-execute sa offense na yan is a tool or a bridge para makomit yung another offense. Siya po ang tulay para makomit yung another offense. Requirements, at least 2 offenses are committed, that one or some of the offenses must be necessary to commit the other, that both or all of the offenses must be punished under the same statute. Let's say, for example, forcible abduction with rape. Ba? So, ano ang requirement para ma-rape yung isang tao? Pwede forcible abduction. Yeah? So, kailangan i-perform mo na ang forcible abduction before makomit yung rape. Or probably, estafa through falsification of documents. So, ano ang dapat i-commit first para makapag-commit ng estafa? Nag-commit yung tao ng falsification of documents. Para again, yung second crime na estafa will be committed. Yun po ang example ng complex crime proper. Pero, ito no single act in the following cases. Okay? Kasi ang complex crime isang act, marami ang resulta na krimen. Ito walang single act in the following cases. Number 1, when 2 persons are killed one after the other by different acts. Although these two killings were the result of a single criminal impulse, the different act must be considered as distinct crimes. For example, yung isa, you shot him by means of a firearm, tapos the other person kinidnap mo, and then you kill him also. So, those are different acts. It shall not be considered as one act. Number 2, when the acts are wholly different, not only in themselves, but also because they are directed against two different persons, as when one fires his gun twice in succession, killing one and injuring the other. Yung sa unang example, binaril mo yung isang tao. Did I say you shot him 5 times? Natamaan yung tao, namatay. Pero may mga straight bullets. So yung ibang tao na nasa malapit ng biktima, natamaan din, suffering from serious physical injury or slight physical injury. In that case, considered po siya na compound crime. Compound crime is an example of complex crime. Pero sa number 2 dito, di po siya matatawag na single act. Therefore, it should not be considered as a complex crime kasi hindi siya single act. Bakit po? Kasi ang pag-fire po dito, ang pagpatay po is directed against two different persons. Ibig sabihin, you got your firearm, you shoot first Juan de la Cruz. And then after shooting Juan de la Cruz, knowing that he is already dead, you go to Pedro and kill Pedro also. In that case, dalawa po yung tao. The act is directed to two persons. So therefore, yung acts is not considered as one, but rather dalawa. Again, I'd like to repeat. Yung unang example, compound crime. Bakit compound crime? Sino ba ang tao na target mo? Si Juan lang. Binaril mo si Juan. Isa lang ang target. Pero nagkataon, siguro, hindi ka nakapag-enroll sa marksmanship. Patay ka ngayon. So, hindi ka pag nakapag-enroll sa combat shooting, basic marksmanship sa DIFTAC. Pagbaril mo kay Juan, naging stray yung bullet, natamaan yung ibang tao. Pero ang target mo si Juan lang. So, basically, naging compound crime siya. But in this case again, it's a different story. It's a different example kasi po, it's directed towards two different guys, two different people. So, it should not be considered as a complex crime, but rather, hindi po, you can, both of the victims could actually file different cases. Okay? So, yan po I hope klaro klaro po yan. Sunod, ito, taliwas po sa kaalaman po natin. In case of continuing crimes, hindi po siya complex crime. When one offense is committed to conceal the other, hindi po siya complex crime. When the other crime is an indispensable part or an element of the other offenses as defined, hindi din po. Where one of the offenses is penalized by a special law. Okay? Klaro Pag nasa special law yan, hindi siya considered as a complex crime. Okay? For example, nag-deal kayo ng shabu, tapos nagpapatayan dyan sa pag-deal ng shabu. Question, ang shabu is under ba yan sa RPC? Hindi. Under po yan sa special law, which is Republic Act 9165. So, hindi ka pwedeng mag-file ngayon ng illicit use of drugs or possession of illicit drugs with murder or with homicide. Hindi pwede kasi yung isa is basically under the special law. Ito, taliwas po, when the law provides one single penalty for special complex crime. Ito po ang mga krimen na considered as special complex crime. Special complex crime kadete. Una, robbery with homicide. Pangalawa, robbery with rape. Robbery with homicide. Rape with homicide. Rather, kidnapping with serious physical injuries. Kidnapping with homicide. Ang tanong, ang pinakamalaking tanong dyan, bakit po hindi siya considered na complex crime? Bakit special complex crime? Ganito kasi yung mga jargons po natin sa law. Hindi siya tinatawag na complex crime, pero special complex crime. Nako, hindi siya complex crime in a sense that it is not classified as compound or it is not classified as compound or complex crime proper. Klaro? Hindi siya tinatawag na complex crime kasi hindi siya classified as compound or complex crime proper. Ano po ba ang label niya? Ang label niya is special complex crime. Pag lumabas sa board examination ang robbery with homicide, ano yan? Special complex crime, hindi complex crime klaro po yan. Bakit po ba hindi siya complex crime? Bakit ang classification niya is special complex crime? Kasi yung RPC natin, yung Revised Penal Code po, nag-provide po siya ng one single penalty. Ibig sabihin, kahit dalawa yung krimen na nakalagay, dalawa yung krimen na nakumit, pero ang batas, naglagay po siya ng isang punishment lang. Kung tingnan nyo po, ang Article 294, if I'm not mistaken, check ko muna Article 294 ng Revised Penal Code, andyan po makikita nyo ang tinatawag nating robbery with homicide, robbery with rape. Diyan po nakalagay. Okay? So, sa 294 ng Article 294 ng Revised Penal Code, so ang sabi doon, basahin ko tingnan ko muna para sure tayo 294. Wait for a while 294. Para sure po, baka sabihin nyo, minikos-mikos ko lang. Tingnan natin 294. Basahin ko po para mas klaro po. 294, nasaan ka na ngayon? 294. Ay, nako. For a while 294. Malapit na po. Malapit na. Okay, ito po 294 294. 294. Ay, 295 pala. 293. Ay, ito po 295. Basahin ko po 295. Robbery with violence against or intimidation of persons penalties. Basahin ko po Any person guilty of robbery with the use of violence against or intimidation of any person shall suffer the penalty of reclusion perpetua to death when by reason or an occasion of robbery the crime of homicide shall have been committed. So ito the crime of homicide shall have been committed. Anong sabi dito? Penalty niya is reclusion perpetua to death pag nag-commit ka ng robbery with homicide. So, ano ang sabi dito? Ilang krimen ba ang na-specify? Dalawa. Pero ilan po ba ang punishment? Isa. Okay, isa po. So, ang tawag niya po is not complex crime but rather a special complex crime. Yun po ang tawag niya Klaro po yan mga kadete. Kasi pag complex crime kasi yan, iba yung punishment ng unang krimen, iba din po yung punishment sa pangalawang krimen. Tapos hindi siya nakaspecify in one provision or in one article or in one section sa RPC. Okay? Sunod, plurality of crimes consists in the successive execution by the same individual of different criminal acts upon any of which no conviction has yet been declared. Okay? Ibig sabihin, successive yung execution sa isang tao by the same individual of different criminal acts. Iba-iba po yung akto. Una, pinatay niya. Pagkatapos ng pagpatay ng isang tao, pumunta sa ibang lugar. Tapos nagnakaw or pumunta doon ng rape, plurality of crimes. Ito ang mga kinds of plurality. Una, formal or ideal. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng formal or ideal? Only one criminal liability. Formal or ideal crimes are further divided into three groups where a person committing multiple crimes is punished with only one penalty. Ito when the offender commits any of the complex crimes defined in Article 48. Okay? So, yun po, yung nakapag-commit ng complex crime, isa din po yung example sa tinatawag nating formal or ideal na example, na kind po ng plurality of crimes. When the offender commits any of the when the law specifically fixes a single penalty for 2 or more offenses, for example, robbery with homicide, kidnapping. O yun po, minention ko kanina, Article 295, formal or ideal po ang tawag. When the offender commits continued crime, tawag din po niya formal or ideal crime. Tingnan po natin ang definition ng continued crime later on, ha. Real or material, there are different crimes in law as well as in the conscience of the offender. In such case, the offender shall be punished for each and every offense that he committed. Yun po ang sabi ko kanina. Nag-commit ka ng rape, tapos pagpunta mo sa ibang bayo, nag-commit ka ng murder, iba-iba din po yung punishment. Yung complex crime po, saka yung special complex crime, nasali po siya sa formal or ideal. Yun po, mga plurality of crimes yan. Okay? So, ano ba pinagkaiba ng plurality of crimes saka yung complex crime? Ay, yung complex crime, that would suggest na isang act, dalawa yung krimen. Ang complex crime is one of the examples, one of the subtypes under formal or ideal. Na ang formal or ideal is a kind of plurality of crimes. Okay, I hope hindi po kayo na-confused. Next, ito continued crimes. Isang act, single crime consisting of series of acts, but all arising from one criminal resolution. Although there is a series of acts, there is only one crime committed, so only one penalty shall be imposed. So iba ito sa complex crime, ha. Iba ito sa complex crime. Ito series of acts. Pero isa lang yung criminal decision, criminal resolution ng isang tao. So isa lang din po ang punishment dapat. Okay? So example of continued crimes, nilagay ko po para mas klaro. Okay? A collector of a commercial firm misappropriates for his personal use several amounts collected by him from different persons. There is only one crime because the different and successive appropriations are but the different moments during which one criminal resolution arises. So ito collector siya ng commercial firm. Na misappropriate niya for his personal use ang mga amount po collected from different persons. For example, example lang ito collector ka ng motor. Pinuntahan mo si Coco Crunch. Kumuha ka ng 2,000 kasi yun ang monthly due niya. Sunod pumunta ka ngayon kay Juan Tarpulano. Nag-collect ka ng 3,000 kasi yun ang monthly due niya. Pumunta ka ngayon, sunod kay Maria, nag-collect ka ng 5,000 kasi yun ang monthly due niya. So ilan na ang total? May 10,000 ka na. Yung 10,000 mo ginamit mo sa pagbili ng bigas. Kasi wala kayong bigas sa bahay. Although, nag-collect ka kay sa tatlong tao, it is considered as a continued crime. Isa lang po yung disposition mo Alright? So, hindi po pwedeng tatlo yung krimen. Isa lang po din ang penalty. Or, Juan steals 2 books belonging to 2 different persons. He commits only one crime because there is unity of thought in the criminal purpose of the offender. Okay? So, ang ginawa ni Juan, ninakaw niya ngayon yung 2 libro, knowing na yung 2 libro pala is owned by 2 different persons. So, isa lang po yung penalty niya kasi continued crime. Pero, if done in different occasions, ibang istorya na naman yan. Pag different occasion. For example, 2 libro ninakaw mo, yung unang libro ninakaw mo last month, yung isa ninakaw mo this month, in that case, hindi pwede. Hindi siya considered as continued crime. Note, a continued crime is not a complex crime as the offender does not perform a single act but a series of acts. Yun po ang pagkakaiba Therefore, penalty not to be imposed in the maximum. No actual provision punishing continued crime. Klaro po wala pa tayong provision punishing continued crime. It is a principle applied in connection with two or more crimes committed under one single intention. Okay? A continued crime is different from a transitory crime. Okay, ito ha. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng transitory crime? Or itong tinatawag nating moving crime. Pag transitory, ibig sabihin transition, ito po ang krimen where some acts, material and essential to the crimes, and requisite to their commission occur in one municipality or territory, and some acts are done in another place. Ang tawag po niyan, transitory krimen. For example, isang gabi gusto mo makapagnakaw ka ng 1 million. Pumunta ka ngayon sa municipality of Saturn, pumunta ka sa building owned by Coco Crush, nagnakaw ka ng 100,000. Hindi ka satisfied kasi 1 million yung goal mo eh. Paglabas mo sa bahay ni Coco Crush, pumunta ka ngayon ni Bida-Bida. Pumunta ka ngayon ni Mr. Bida-Bida sa kanyang bahay, nagnakaw ka ng 50,000. Hindi pa rin kumpleto. Pumunta ka ngayon sa bahay ni Mr. Palata. Yun. And at the end of the night, nakuha mo yung 1 million. Transitory crime ang tawag po. Moving crime po. Okay? Sige. Okay? Yun po ha. Yun po ang pagkakaiba. Next. Ito. To make it more complicated. And for you to understand more. Ito dinifferentiate ko na ordinary complex crime, special complex crime, tsaka yung delito continuado or continuous crime. Ang pagkakaiba sa tatlo. Ordinary complex crime or simply complex crime, two or more crimes being punished in distinct provisions of the RPC. Iba-iba yung provisions. But alleged in one information. So, sa penalties ng complex crime or ordinary complex crime, the penalty for the most serious crime shall be imposed and in its maximum period. Okay? Yung pinakamataas. So between serious physical injury and homicide, ano ba yung pinakamataas na penalty? Nagbinaril mo Pag baril mo, nag-stray yung bullet, natamaan yung iba. Habang yung biktima namatay. So, ano po ba ang penalty? Yung pinaka-maximum, maximum period. Saka yung pinakamataas, between serious physical injury and homicide, mataas yung sa homicide So, dapat yung sa homicide na penalty yung i-apply. Yun Next, pag special complex crime naman. Again, ito yung dalawang krimen, yung tinatawag ko kanina yung robbery with homicide. Dalawang krimen, pero, isang act, dalawang krimen na resulta, pero, again, it is only given one punishment na makikita natin sa provision sa RPC. For example, again, robbery with homicide. So, as to the penalty, ito as to the penalty, special complex crime, only one penalty is specifically prescribed for all the component crimes which are regarded as one indivisible offense. The component crimes are not regarded as distinct crimes, and so the penalty for the most serious crime is not the penalty to be imposed, nor in its maximum period. Yun po ang pagkakaiba. So, you will not be talking about maximum period, you will not be talking about blah, 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 kasi po nakalagay na dyan For example, pag robbery with homicide, ang nakalagay dyan is reclusion perpetua So, yun. Ang reclusion perpetua is indivisible Indivisible yan. Alright? So, walang maximum period. Or, hindi ka mag-follow sa principle na dapat yung pinakamataas. Kasi po, may nakaspecify na yung penalty. Unlike sa ordinary complex crime, hindi nakaspecify. Bakit hindi nakaspecify? Kasi pag pag homicide with serious physical injury, hindi nakaspecify na pag dalawa yung krimen na nakumit na ganyan, ito ang punishment. Ang nakaspecify lang is ano ang punishment sa homicide, ano ang punishment sa serious physical injury. pero hindi nakaspecify na pag nakumit itong dalawang ito ang penalty. So, yun po. Yun ang pagkakaiba sa dalawa. Next, yung continuous crime naman or delito continuado is a term used to denote as only one crime, a series of felonies. Yun na po, na-discuss ko na. Let us save time. Na-discuss ko na po kanina. Okay, same lang din po. Next, suspension of the execution and service of the penalties in case of insanity. Pag nabuang yung tao, ito suspension of the execution and service of penalty. When a convict shall become insane or an imbecile after the final sentence has been pronounced, the execution of sentence said sentence shall be suspended. Automatic suspended kasi nabuang suspended. If at any time the convict shall recover his reason, ito ang masaklap. His sentence shall be executed. Yun to problema. Pag pag naging normal ka na, i-execute yung sentence. So pag nabuang ka, you have to remain buang all the time. Kasi pag naging normal ka uli, bilanggo ang resulta dyan. Unless the penalty shall have prescribed in accordance with the provision of this code. The respective provisions of this section shall also be observed if the insanity or imbecility occurs while the convict is serving in sentence. So, pag nagsiserve siya ng sentence, for example, 10 taon, in the 5th year, naging buang yung tao, ipalabas mo. Suspend yung sentence. Pero pag naging normal, balik ka uli, serve mo yung remaining 5. O, yun po. The payment of civil or pecuniary liability shall not be suspended. Yan po ang pinakamasakit dito. Kahit naging insane ka na, yung payment, civil liability, or pecuniary liabilities, di po siya masuspend. Only execution of personal penalty is suspended. Civil liability may be executed even in case of insanity of convict. So to summarize mga kadete, ito po na-summarize ko na din po. An accused may become insane at the time of the commission of a crime, automatic exempted. Kasi under yan sa exempting criminal liability. Pero, pag nabuang ka at the time of trial na, i-suspend yung hearing and order his confinement in a mental hospital. Pero pag nabuang yung tao at the time of final judgment or while serving sentence, i-suspend lang yung pag-execute ng sentence. But the moment naging normal ka, balik ka uli. Okay? Ang mas okay dyan, pag insane ka during the commission of the crime. Kasi po, exempted yan One of the exempting circumstances. Next, by the death of the convict, ito how criminal liability is totally extinguished. Punta tayo sa total extinguishment of criminal liability at saka yung partial extinguishment. When we say extinguishment, mawala. Okay? Mawala po yung criminal liability mo. Una dito, itong tinatawag nating total extinguishment of criminal liability. Una, pag namatay yung tao. As to the personal penalties and as to pecuniary penalties, liability therefore is extinguished kasi patay na. Only when the death of the pag namatay yung tao, when the death of the offender occurs before final judgment. Okay? Next, pag ang tao po tapos na ang serbisyo niya sa sentensya, automatic wala na yung criminal liability. Total extinguishment din po. Number 3, huwag kalimutan, amnesty, which completely extinguishes the penalty and all its effects. Ang amnesty, tinatawag yang general pardon. Amnesty is only extended to political offenders. Remember, amnesty is total extinguishment din po. Pang-4, itong absolute pardon. Pang-5, at saka yung pang-6, itong prescription of crime, at saka yung prescription of penalty. We will differentiate the two later on. Pang-7, marriage of the offended woman as provided in Article 344 of this code. Pati na yung sa 8353 or the anti-rape law. Ito by the marriage of the offended woman. For example, rape. Tapos ni-rape Si Maria Guapita. Nirape si Maria Guapita. Ang nag-rape si Coco Crunch. So pag sabihan ni Coco Crunch, ano na lang, para wala nang gastusan sa trial, why not we have to become husband and wife, di ba? So siguro makapal ang mukha ng rapist, makapal ang mukha ni Coco Crunch, nag-propose siya ngayon. Ni-rape na kita. Di ba? Nangyayari ba yan sa totoong buhay? I do not know, but probably yes. So if nangyayari po, nako, total extinguishment. Sa mga dyan, sa mga torpe. They should not, di ba may mga may mga kadete tayo na pag tinabihan ng isang chicks, hindi makapagsalita kasi torpe. Di ba nangyari yan? So pag nang-rape yung tao, tapos nag-file ng kaso yung babae, mag-file sana ng kaso yung babae, pero sabi ng lalaki, propose na lang, let's get married. Yung babae, ayaw naman niyang, because it's basically that will shame you in the society, right? Pag biktima kasi ng rape po, you will be the subject of shaming and humiliation. So of course, yung babae, pinoprotektahan niya ngayon yung reputation niya. That will motivate him to marry the guy. So in that case, total extinguishment, hindi po mapreso yung rapist po. Okay? So yun ito, prescription of crime and prescription of penalty. There's only a fine difference between the two. Pag krimen, forfeiture or the loss of the right of the state. When you say forfeiture, nawalang bisa yung karapatan ng Estado na mag-file ng kaso after a lapse of a period prescribed by the law. Pero pag prescription of penalty, ang nawala is yung karapatan ng Estado sa pag-execute ng sentensya after the period prescribed by the law. Ano ang pinagkakaiba dyan except from the spelling? Sa prescription of crime, right to prosecute, ano ba ibig sabihin ng right to prosecute? Yung mag-file ka ng kaso. Sa prescription of the penalty, nakapag-file ka ng kaso, na guilty na, may conviction na. Pero, hindi ka ngayon makapag-execute sa sentensya kasi na-lapse na. Ibig sabihin ng lapse, nalipasan na po. Pagkalipas ng isang period prescribed by the law. Klaro yan ito. Klaro Para mas klaro pa. Mas klaro sa liwanag ng buwan. Or mas klaro ba sa sinag ng araw? Ito prescription. Pag death, reclusion perpetua and reclusion temporal yung punishment ng krimen. 20 years ngayon ang prescription of crime. Ang rape under 8353. At sa revised penal code, punishable yan, reclusion perpetua yan. Kasi consider niya, afflictive offense yan grave offense yan So, grave felony yan So, ibig sabihin, pag na-rape si Maria ngayon, year 2023, hindi siya mag-file ng kaso year 2024. Pagka year 2025, mag-file siya ngayon, ang tanong, pwede pa ba? The answer is yes. Kasi po, ang 20 years is yun po ang time, ang schedule na binigyan ka po ng batas na makapag-file ka ng kaso. Ibig sabihin, 2023, naging 2044 na. 2044. Year 2044 na, doon ka palang mag-file ng kaso ng rape, nako, hindi na pwede. Kasi nag-lapse na ang 20 years. Kuha nyo po. Hindi ka na pwede mag-file, Choy. Sunod, other afflictive penalties. Ano ba ang other afflictive penalty na hindi na-mention sa taas? Ito yung presyon mayor. Di ba presyon mayor, afflictive penalty yan. So yung presyon mayor, pag yan ang penalty sa isang krimen, magkano ba yung prescription of crime? Kailan ba? 15 years. Pag correctional penalties from Aristo Mayor, papuntang presyon correctional, 10 years. Except Aristo Mayor which prescribes in 5 years. Nako, I'm sorry. Again, correctional penalties, ibig sabihin nito para makorek natin, para hindi tayo ma-confuse. Pag prison correctional, 10 years yung prescription of crime. Pag Aristo Mayor, 5 years yung prescription of crime. Klaro ba, mga kadete? Klaro ba? Okay, para hindi tayo ma-confuse ha. Again, prison correctional, 10. Pag Aristo Mayor, 5. Oral defamation and slander by deed, 6 months. Light offenses, 2 months. The prescriptive period for violation of batas pambansa bilang 22 or the bouncing checks, 4 po na taon. So ngayon, tingnan natin another example, light offense ha. Light offense lang po. Let's say, alarms and scandals. Binigyan ka ng 2 buwan para mag-file ka ng kaso. For example, natulog ka. Tapos, here comes the idiot, kumuha ng firecracker, tapos binato sa location mo. Of course, alarms and scandals yan because that can cause alarm with you. So, binigyan ka ngayon ng batas ng 2 buwan para maka-file ng alarms and scandals. Pero pag hindi ka, ayaw mo mag-file, doon ka na mag-file sa 3rd month, pwede pa ba? The answer is hindi na. Kasi lumipas na po sa prescription of crime. Okay? Next, prescription of penalty. Ito, sabi ko kanina, prescription of penalty, wala na pong karapatan yung estado, yung gobyerno na mag-execute ng sentensya kasi nag-lapse na eh. For example, yung punishment mo is reclusion perpetua. Death and reclusion perpetua, for example, under the first level. Death and reclusion perpetua yung punishment, for example. Death or reclusion perpetua. Let us say, sinintensyahan ka ngayon ng 20 years. Nilagay ka ngayon sa padiwigo ng BGMP para transfer to the jail facility or to the prison facility. But on the time that you are transported on your way, nakapag-eskapo ka. Nakapag-escape ka, ha? Instead of serving 20 years in prison, you spend your time 20 years in hiding. Hiding. Okay? So, pag nag-hide ka ngayon, on the 21st year, nagpakita ka ngayon sa society, ang tanong, pwede ka pa bang arestuhin para ilagay ka sa prison? Pwede pa ba? For 20 years, you spend your time hiding. Tapos on the 21st year, dumating ka ngayon sa barangay nyo. Sabi ng taga-barangay, dapat i-aresto ka. Pero again, hindi na pwede. Hindi ka na pwedeng ilagay sa prison. Why? Kasi nag-lapse na yung 20 years. Okay? Prescription of penalty yan. Next, other afflictive penalties, yung reclusion temporal at saka yung prison mayor, 15 years. For correctional penalties, ang prison correctional, 10. Ang aresto mayor, 5. Ang light penalties, 1 taon lang po. So, pag nakapag-commit ka ng light penalty, iskapo ka lang. Pag escape mo po, for 1 year, you spend that time in hiding, pwede din po. Kasi prescription of penalty yan eh. Next, computation of the period of prescription of penalties. Okay, ang computation, ganito ha. The period commences to run from the date the culprit evades the service of sentence. So, 20 years for example, for reclusion perpetua ha. Ano ngayon ang basehan? Kailan mag-start? Mag-start ang 1 day the moment you escape. Okay? Pero may interrupt yan pag nag-surrender ka, pag na-capture ka, or you go to foreign country, which the Philippines has no extradition treaty. For example, nag-escapo ka. 20 years ngayon, yung prescription of penalty. So, to make sure na hindi ka ma-arrest, madakip ng mga authorities, pumunta ka ngayon sa Pakistan. Pumunta ka sa Pakistan. Nako! Pag on the 21st year, bumalik ka ngayon sa Pilipinas and you smile because 21st year na eh. Under the law, pwede ka pong mag-serve ng yung sentence. Madakip ka po kasi you cannot claim the benefit of prescription of penalty. Next, if he should commit another crime before the expiration of the period of the prescription. Okay? So, yun po ang computation po natin. On the other hand, Computation naman natin sa period of the prescription of crime. Ito naman, prescription of crime. So, ang period of the prescription shall commence to run from the day on which the crime is discovered. From the day that the crime has been discovered. Ibig na discoveryan yung krimen. Sino ang nakadiscover? Una, yung offended party. Or pangalawa, yung authorities. Or pangatlo, yung agents ng authorities. Ano bang pinagkakaiba ng authorities at yung agents? Authorities, yung mga opisyal natin sa gobyerno. For example, mayor, governor, even teacher is a person in authority. Ang agents, ito po yung mga police, yung mga NBI. Okay? Witness again is not included. Hindi po included ang witness dito ha. And shall be interrupted by the filing of the complaint or information and shall commence to run again when such blah 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 blah. So, interrupted po siya pag nag-file ng kaso. So, dapat hindi nakapag-file. For example, rape ngayon, 2023, but on 2034, nag-file siya ng kaso ng rape na nangyari sa 2023, pwede po automatic interrupted, automatic makapag-file kasi hindi nakaabot ng prescription of crime. Okay? The term prescription shall not run when the offender is absent from the Philippine Archipelago. So again ha, pag pumunta ka ng ibang bansa, yung prescription of crime, pati na yung penalty sabi ko kanina, you will not receive the benefit thereof. While prescription for violations penalized by special acts and municipal ordinances, the prescription shall be interrupted when proceedings are instituted against guilty persons. This means that the prescriptive period is interrupted by the institution of proceedings for preliminary investigation against the accused. Again, for special law kasi ang na-discuss ko kanina is only for felony. Yung violations against the RPC lang. But pag ang violation is against special law or ordinances, ang prescription of crime po, may interrupt po yan during preliminary investigation. Okay? So, yun po, mga kadete. Next! Ito ang board exam question. Nilagyan ko po, nilagyan ko. Para at least klaro, May example tayo. In 1990, A was convicted of homicide and was sentenced to suffer reclusion temporal. Okay? After serving 6 months in prison, he escaped. He was arrested in 2012. Naging convicted siya sa anong taon? 1990. Nag-escapo siya. Tapos pag-escape niya, he was arrested in 2012. Pero before siya nakapag-escape, nakapag-serve pa siya ng 6 months. Question, can he be made to suffer the penalty imposed upon him? Kailangan pa ba? So, ang sagot nito, yes or no lang. Bakit yes? Bakit no? Ang tamang sagot po is no. Bakit hindi? Because the penalty has prescribed. Kailangan pa bang i-impose yung penalty reclusion temporal? Hindi na, because the penalty has prescribed. Kasi the prescripted period of reclusion temporal, which is an afflictive penalty, is 15 lang. 15 years. Titingnan po natin, when A was arrested, more than 15 years have elapsed. Kasi 1990 to 2012. So 1990 to 2000, 10 taon na yan. 2000 to 2012, 12 years yan. So, lampas na. 1990 to 2000, 10 taon na. Plus 2000 to 2012. So, 12 plus 10. Lampas. Lampas na. So, hindi na po kailangang mag-suffer siya ng reclusion temporal o hindi na po kailangang i-continue yung punishment or yung penalty. Next, yun po ang total extinction of criminal liability. Let's go now to partial extinction of criminal liability. By the way, cadets, I will not delve more on this kasi yung oras po natin, tinitipid po natin If you want to know more about if you want to know more about this, punta po kayo sa discussion natin sa non-institutional correction. Andon po ang discussion natin about conditional pardon, commutation of sentence, GCTA or Good Conduct Time Allowance, parole and provision. Ito po ang tinatawag na mga grounds for partial extinction of criminal liability. Next, civil liability. Last, Last na ba ito? Civil liability. I think this is we are now on the last part. Okay? We are now on the last part. Civil liability includes restitution. Anong ibig sabihin ng restitution? Yung binalik mo or you restore the thing that has been damaged, or reparation on of the damage caused, or indemnification for consequential damages. So, includes those caused to the injury of party and those suffered by the third person by reason of the crime. Then, may tinatawag din po tayong extinction of civil liability, meaning nawala po yung civil liability niya, o na payment or performance. Number 2, loss of the thing due. Number 3, condonation or remission of the debt, meaning binayaran mo. Number 4, confusion or merger of the rights of creditor and debtor. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Nag-utan ka ng 10,000, hindi ka ngayon makabayad. So, ang sabi ng nagpautang sa'yo, yung 10,000 mo, inegosyo na lang natin, tapos investor, tayong dalawa yung owner. It's basically confusion or merger of the rights. Sunod, compensation or novation. Ano ba yung novation? Substitution. Okay? Nawala yung 10,000. Nawala yung 10,000. So, nagsauli ka ngayon ng 10,000. Okay? Next, let us go now to statute of limitation. Statute of limitation is correlated with prescription of crime and prescription of penalty. Statute of limitation is a law which forbids prosecutors from charging someone with a crime that was committed more than the specified number of years ago. After the period of the statute has run, the criminal is essentially free. So ito sa prescription of crime siya po nakarelate ng sobra. So, sa prescription of crime, hindi na po pwede makapag-file ng kaso, hindi na po pwede makapag-file ng complaint kasi nag-prescribe na. So, binawalan po ang mga prosecutor para po sa pag-filing kasi po lumagpas na. So, ang tawag po sa batas that forbids the prosecutors is the statute of limitation. For special time allowance for loyalty, and who grants time allowance? Nako, cadets, punta kayo sa non-institutional correction. Diniscuss ko po yan Diniscuss ko po yan doon. Okay? At the same time, sino po ba ang disqualified thereof? I will not delve on this kasi nasa non-institutional correction po yan. Next, indemnity refers to the compensation to crimes against person. Ang pagkakaiba po sa indemnity at reparation, ganito po. Ang indemnity is yung bayad mo. Pag ang krimen is crimes against person. Pero pag yung krimen is crimes against property, reparation po ang tawag. So moral damages could be in the form or could be recovered. You can claim moral damages in the following. Number 1, physical injuries, seduction, abduction, rape, so on and so forth. Makikita nyo po yan sa slide. Okay? So yun po. Next, what is included in civil liability? The civil liability established in Articles 100, 101 to 103 of this code includes, yun po ang na-mention ko kanina restitution, reparation, indemnification. So, paano po gagawin ang restitution? So, the restitution of the thing itself must be made whenever possible with allowance for any deterioration or diminution of value as determined by the court. So, pag nasira is kotse, tapos yung kotse is 30 years na, so hindi naman pwedeng yung original price yung babayarin mo kasi may deterioration yan. Next, reparation. The court shall determine the amount of damage taking into consideration the price of the thing, so on and so forth. Next, important terms. So ito, last na po ito These are the last topics. Ito. Dispoblado or uninhabited place. Discernment is the mental capacity of to fully appreciate the consequence of the unlawful act, which is shown by, number 1, the manner the crime was committed. Number 2, the conduct of the offender after its commission. Diba sa Republic Act 9165, pag nag-commit ka ng bata ka, nag-commit ka ng with discernment, ako may criminal liability. Yan. Anong babasihan? Pag nag-commit ka ba ng discernment? Yung manner mo, yung attitude mo, yung behavior mo after the commission of the crime. Nang rape ka, pagkatapos yan, tumatawa-tawa ka lang na parang walang remorse or regret, you have discernment. Or probably, after killing a person, you dismember the parts of the person, may discernment yan. Disfraz or disguise, meaning resorting to any device to conceal identity, then dwelling must be a building structure exclusively used for rest or and comfort. Combination of house and store not included. Okay? Maybe temporary as in the case of guest, blah, blah, blah. Next. El que es cosa de la cosa es cosa del mal causado. Ibig sabihin, the cause of the cause is the cause of the thing caused. Kung ano po ang dahilan, sa dahilan, iyan po ang dahilan kung bakit po nangyari ang kademonyuhan. Evil cause. It's very simple mga kadete. This is usually applied in reckless imprudence resulting to damage of property. For example, vehicle 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ang C4 bump into a pedestrian, bump into the person and the person died. Bakit nag-bump si number 4? Kasi yung vehicle 1 na nasa dulo, nag-bump siya ni vehicle 2. And that bumping of vehicle 2 causes vehicle 2 to bump vehicle 3. And that bumping of vehicle 3, vehicle to vehicle 3, resulted to vehicle 3 bumping on vehicle 4. So yung 4 ngayon, kasi wala nang vehicle in front, tao na yung nasa in front, naku, namatay yung tao. So, sino ba ang may cause? Bakit po namatay? Because of the bumping. Sino ba ang original cause dyan? Yung vehicle 1. Yan po ang dyan. El que es cosa de la cosa es cosa del mal causado. The cause of the cause is the cause of the evil cause. Next. Error in person name, mistake in identity, ex post facto law, na-discuss ko na po yan. Fence. Ito ha. Fence is a person who commits the act of fencing. Okay? Ano ba ang fencing? This is under PD 1612. Okay? Fencing is an act with intent to gain of buying, selling, receiving, possessing, keeping, or in any other manner dealing in anything of value which a person knows or should have known to be derived from the proceeds of the crime of robbery or theft. Alam mo, or kahit hindi mo nalaman that it was actually a product of theft, nako, patay ka sa PD 1612. Bumili ka ng ngayon, motor, walang papeles, walang deed of sale. At the amount of 5,000, bagong-bago, at the amount of 5,000, binili mo. You did not ask for any documentary evidence to prove na sa kanya galing. Nako, kahit hindi mo alam, you will be liable under the anti-fencing law. Malainsi, prohibitan ako. Napaka-common yan, mga kaliti. Do I have to discuss this? Ito, nolum crimen nula puina sinilehe. There is no crime when there is no law punishing it. Okay? Ang mga criminology students, mga genius yan sa Latin. Napakaraming Latin tayo. Baka pag nyo, after viewing this, sabihan nyo yung mo. Pag nagsilos yung wife mo, sabihan mo, nolum crimen, nula puina sinilehe. Ibig sabihin dyan, there is no crime if there is no law. Pag narinig yan ng girlfriend mo, sabihin ng girlfriend mo, naku, ang genius ng ng boyfriend. But in reality, tolbots ka pala. Ang mga Bisaya dyan, makapag-relate kung ano yung tolbots. Next, pardon. An act of grace. Next, parole. Period. One of three equal portions, the minimum, median, and the maximum of a divisible penalty. Divisible Divisible, may minimum, medium, at saka yung maximum. Yung isa, reclusion perpetua and others are indivisible crime. Praetor intentionem, lack of intent to commit so grave a wrong. What is the legal effect of praetor intentionem? It is just a mitigating circumstance. Ano ba example ng praetor intentionem? Kulang ka ng intent to commit so grave a wrong. Ang gusto mo is just to teach him a lesson, namatay yung tao pag punch mo. It's just a mitigating circumstance. Yung original intention is just to give him a lesson, but the result was death. Negligence, it indicates the deficiency of perception and prudence. It is a deficiency of action. Okay? Yan ang pagkakaiba sa dalawa. Negligence, deficiency of perception. Ano ibig sabihin ng perception? The ability of a person to comprehend. Yung sa pag-iisip mo. Imprudence, yung sa action na. Okay? Pro reo, whenever a penal law is to be construed or applied and law admits of two interpretation, one lenient to the offender and one strict to the offender, dapat ang interpretation dyan should be favorable to the offender. Why? Because the law is construed in favor of the offender. Okay? So, pag nakalagay sa batas, naging conflict yung mga provisions, yung isa, punishment dapat 10 taon, pero yung isa nagsasabi 5 taon lang, ang ma-apply is yung 5 taon. Next, proximate cause, the cause which the natural and continuous sequence and broken blah blah blah. I think I already discussed this in the previous episode. Jump na lang po tayo para makapag-save po tayo ng time. Lastly, classification of criminals, na discuss ko na din po ito sa previous, but I'd like to dwell again on this kasi this is very important. 4 po ang classification dyan. Recidivist, unang requirement dyan, nakapag-commit ka ng krimen. Convicted ka, nakapag-serve ka na. Ang nangyari, paglabas mo, nag-commit ka uli ng krimen. The crime which is of the same title of the revised penal code. So, pag murder, crimes against person yan po ang title. Title, crimes against person. Ano ba yung mga krimen sa crimes against person? Andyan po yung physical injury, andyan po yung rape, andyan po yung infanticide, andyan po yung homicide, andyan po yung parricide. So, pag nag-commit ka ng murder, unang krimen mo, paglabas mo, nag-commit ka ng krimen na parricide, pasok ka sa tinatawag nating recidivist. Okay? Recidivist po Pangalawa, quasi-recidivist in a sense that convicted ka ngayon sa unang krimen, after being convicted of another crime, nag-commit ka na naman ng another krimen. Ang pag-commit mo sa ikalawang krimen is na-commit mo yan while you are in the service of sentence or number 2 before the beginning of the service of sentence. Tawag sa iyo quasi-recidivist. For example, murder ngayon, convicted ka, transported ka ngayon sa jail. Pagpunta jail, one night lang, nag-iskapo ka, evasion of service of sentence, that's another crime, naging quasi-recidivist ka. Or inside prison, nag-riot kayo doon, tumultuous affray, again, that's a quasi-recidivism. Pangatlo, habitual delinquent, ito lang po ang mga krimena. Before that, dapat natin tandaan, ito po ang tao within the period of 10 years from the date of his release or last conviction, nag-commit siya ng serious physical injury, pangalawa, less serious physical injury, pangatlo, robbery, pangapat, estafa, panglima, falsification. Pag guilty ka niyan, for the third time or oftener meaning pang-apat, pang-lima, pang-anim. Pero ang list dito is at least third time. Ang tawag sa iyo, habitual delinquent. Pagpasok yan sa less serious physical injury, robbery, estafa, or falsification. Reiteration or habituality, on the other hand, where the offender has been previously punished for an offense to which the law attaches an equal or greater penalty, or for two crimes to which it attaches a lighter penalty. Previous offenses must not be in the same title in the RPC. Hindi po siya on the same title, nag-commit ka ng libang krimen, ang tawag sa iyo, reiteration or habituality. So, yan na po mga kadete ang lahat po ng topics. Nako, episode 4 talaga tayo. Nakapagpunta tayo sa episode 4. Yun na po ang lahat ng topics. Binigay ko na po sa inyo ang lahat. Libre ang lahat po ng mga video discussions natin. No need to pay anything. Pag gusto nyo pong hindi mag-skip ng ads, naku, I really appreciate it. Kasi by not skipping ads, yan po ang masasabi natin, yung gratitude, act of gratitude nyo po, para naman po maisauli yung pabor na binigay ko po sa inyo. Maraming maraming salamat po sa pagsubaybay and to those persons who ordered or purchased the Bicuino review material. Maraming salamat po. Sa lahat po ng mga instructors natin, gawin po natin ang lahat po para ang mga estudyante po natin will learn in our respective signatories, in our respective subject assignments. Ang mantra po natin, dapat we should not be after on what we can get from the students. Dapat we should be after on what we can give to them. Maraming salamat. God bless po. Mabuhay po ang criminologist.